Welcome back to Elevation 44. It's your girl B. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back, family. Today marks the official start of Aquarius season. So I'm here to drop you all the details on Aquarius season, okay? So as of 3:40 p.m. Eastern Time, today, January 19th, the sun has moved into Aquarius, okay? And it's gonna actually stay here until February 18th when it moves into Pisces. Now, what does this mean when the sun is in Aquarius? First of all, before I even say what the sun means when it's in Aquarius, I will say that there are 3 other planets in Aquarius that's already hanging out. We've got Jupiter, we've got Saturn, which you guys have been hearing about, and we have Mercury in Aquarius, okay? So lots of Aquarian energy, and there's gonna be more Aquarian energy being added to the mix as we progress through Aquarius season. We're gonna have about 6 planets in Aquarius at one time. So that is a super stellium in Aquarius. So just lots, again, doubling down a lot on the Aquarian energy. More to come about that later, okay? So with the sun moving out of Capricorn, which had our focus on our responsibilities, our goals, our ambitions, and basically our work, our public image, and all of that, it's now moving into Aquarius, which is all about new ideas, networking, on collaborating, freedom. It's all about seeing into the future, envisioning the future, working on the future, and our uniqueness and individuality. So this is what Aquarius season is highlighting for us, in totality. Like, that is what that energy is ushering in. It's ushering in change. It's ushering high level information. This is like the next octave of information, just that higher level, not even able to comprehend because our minds have not expanded that far yet type of information, okay? So again, this is shifting from the earth energy into the air energy, and it's all around our thinking, our communications, and how we collaborate and work together for the betterment of the collective. All right, so with the sun moving into Aquarius, the first thing, or the first contact it's going to make is it's going to make contact with Saturn, okay? Because like I said, Saturn and Jupiter are hanging out in Aquarius, all right? So the first contact will be Saturn, and then next Jupiter. So what does this mean when the sun is conjuncting, which means blending its energy, merging its energy with Jupiter and Saturn? First, Saturn in Aquarius is all about helping us bring change to the established order, okay? So it's taking, the order, the way things are, the things that have been broken down and torn down while, Saturn was in Capricorn with Pluto, everything that was being torn down, and now it's giving us a chance to change it and then build new structures and build a new way and build a new order. So that's really what Saturn in Aquarius is doing, right? And also giving us the innovation to do so. Now, Jupiter is always on board to be the hype man, to expand on everything. So Jupiter is like, you want to build bigger, build harder, build smarter, build faster. Jupiter is just going to make us, excited, and make us want to embrace the change, and also help us expand our minds to that next level thinking that we need in order to make these changes, okay? So when the sun comes and blends its energy with these two, it's really doing what the sun likes to do, which is shining a spotlight, or putting more of an emphasis or a focus on this, okay? So that is what the sun is going to be doing when it is blending its energy with these 2 planets. It's just kind of hyper focusing even more on the work that is being done in Aquarius, okay? Now, Saturn, I will mention, is at home in Aquarius. So this is usually a positive transit, although it can bring hard lessons because Saturn is all about that restriction and that responsibility, the limitations, and teaching those lessons so that you can progress and have growth. So sometimes those lessons, those things that come in can feel hard and tough, but they're necessary to move us forward. Now, there's still a lot of positive change that comes from Saturn being in Aquarius, because change is good and growth is good. But we have some challenges, okay? So let's talk about January 20th, which everyone is talking about, which is Inauguration Day in the US. So that is tomorrow on Wednesday. Here's the challenge that's coming in, okay? So we have Saturn, like I said, the Sun, Saturn, and Jupiter all blending their energies, hanging out together in Aquarius. And, hey man, what you doing? Hey, how you doing? Let's get to work. Let's get busy. They're having a good time, right? Now, what happened is we have a square going on, okay? So there's a square happening, which means tension in astrology. There's some tension happening between Saturn, Jupiter, and the Sun, which are together in Aquarius. And then we have three who are also together in Aquarius, which is Uranus, Mars, and Lilith, okay? So these are the reason why this is a problem, not only just because there's tension, but because these are the three most rebellious energies in astrology, three of the most rebellious energies, okay? So they all thrive on the ability to freely express themselves and hate to be confined and restricted. They want to do what they got to do when they want to do it and how they want to do it. And they don't want to be told or restricted or pulled back in any way, shape, or form. And when that happens, guess what? Rebellion happens. They start showing they A, okay? This is the three that can turn into troublemakers real fast if you don't stay on that, decent side, okay? So what is Uranus already doing in Taurus? Uranus is literally there shaking up our material world. What is Uranus energy? It's unpredictability, it's change, it's forward movement, okay? What is Taurus? Taurus is securities. Taurus is wanting to, kind of be more firm and more planted and more rooted, right? And that is really over our resources, our money, our values, and all of that type of energy, right? Now, with and it also is about pleasure and all these other different things, but Uranus being in Taurus already is not really a comfortable transit, because the bull Taurus is stubborn, okay, and wants to stay, like I say, secure and fixed in what it knows and what makes it feel stable, okay? So when you have a planet with energy of unpredictability and wanting to come in and change, that's already a friction that is happening in a sense there, even though the work is still being done. So what that means is that it's shaking up our material world, our money, our resources, our possessions, and our societal values, like I said before. Now, Lilith is in Taurus as well, like I said before. Lilith is not a planet, but it's a mathematical point. So this is when the calculation of when the moon is the furthest away from Earth. So that is Lilith's point. Now, what does Lilith represent? Lilith is raw, primal instincts, okay? And when I talk about raw, primal instincts, Lilith is just like the friend that doesn't premeditate or think about anything. Like, what you see is what you get. What comes to the surface is going to be that, whether it be anger, whether it be happiness, whether it's just like, here I am, accept me as I am, this is it, and if you don't, there's going to be hell to pay. So that Lilith, again, represents those raw primal instincts, the way we react on instinct, right? With it being in Taurus, it really centers a lot on our security and our pleasure, okay? So that is what Lilith in Taurus is highlighting. Now, what do we have? Mars, all right? Here, Mars is also in Taurus, and what Mars here is here to do is to add energy. Whatever Mars touches, comes into contact with, goes into, it's going to add a boost of energy to whatever, okay? Mars is that action, let's go get them, let's get it started, let's get the ball rolling. Like, if you want somebody to pop off, if you want somebody to come in and get it started and get that project off the ground or get whatever off the ground, Mars is the person or that energy to do so. And I'm speaking about them like people because it's easier to digest, right? But this is all energy. So what does it mean when we have this one group of planets in Aquarius that are wanting to push change forward, and then we have this other group of planets in Taurus that want to stay kind of, secure and stable, right? It doesn't really mix. And so what we have here is just that tension happening, okay? So what this brings to the forefront is unpredictable behavior, okay? This can also come in the form of unpredictable weather, and this is usually indicative of earthquakes sometimes. So we definitely want to, monitor that as these planets continue to transit through Taurus. But this is also angry outbursts, unease and anxiousness about change, rebellion, ego conflicts, power assertion, aggression, unexpected, challenging events, hostility mainly in the form of wanting to take action, those who feel rejected or restricted wanting to do something about it. So that's where that hostility and stuff comes in. It's almost like a resentment kicks in, and then the ego kicks in, and then it's all on and popping. All right, so this transit and these aspects between each other, between those Aquarian planets and those Taurian planets, have trouble spelled all over it. Now on the 20th, the reason why I'm bringing this to the forefront, on Inauguration Day, we also have the moon, who's also going to be in Taurus, which means that it's going to be blending its energy with Uranus, Mars, and Lilith, causing additional stress and irritation to an already, high-strung or very delicate matter, okay? There's already high tension between the two, and here comes the moon with its moody, emotional self coming in to be like extra sensitive, extra on feeling, like just being rubbed the wrong way, like super quickly. So Inauguration Day, let's just hope that this is a quiet, everyone stays home and stays to themselves and just chills out, because if not, it can get nasty very, very quickly, okay? So the next thing that I want to highlight is on the 28th of January, we're gonna have a Leo full moon, and this is happening at 9 degrees, okay? Now, 9 is usually the number that signifies endings and completion, right? But 9 is also the number of inner wisdom. If you work with tarot cards or anything like that, 9 in tarot is linked to the Hermit, which is going inside for clarity and inner wisdom and that type of information. So this is about the greater truth from within, but finding that from within. Now this Leo full moon is literally going to be obviously with all of the Leo traits, the generosity, the creativity, but also the courage in order to do the things that are necessary in order to move forward, right? But the drama that's coming along with this full moon is that we will have a T-square. Now, what a T-square is that the moon will be opposite Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, okay? So we're gonna have that opposition and that opposing energy there. And then the moon is also going to be squaring Uranus, Mars, and Lilith in Taurus, okay? So this is going to be some drama, some interesting energies at play that are not very comfortable, okay? And I don't want to go too much into it because I'm gonna have that entire moon full moon video out, so you're gonna have to stay tuned for that, and we're gonna dive deeper into that energy, all right? On the 30th, we now have an additional energy to deal with. Why? Because Mercury, which was moving really, really fast out of the sign of Aquarius and headed towards Pisces, said, stop, wait a minute. And on this day, on the 30th, it is stationing so that it can start its retrograde, which means it's backtracking through Aquarius, okay? So Mercury retrogrades get a bad rap, and for good reason, but there's blessings in Mercury retrogrades because it allows us to have a chance to slow down and get into the details and cross our T's and dot our I's, okay? So with Mercury backtracking through Aquarius, retrograding through Aquarius, this is going to challenge us to take a deeper look at our vision and our outlook and what we are specifically building and what we are projecting forward, okay? What are we trying to build? How are we trying to build it, and why are we trying to build it? I just can't talk today. Okay, but anyway, not only is it drilling down on that stuff, it's also who are we building with? Why are we collaborating? How are we collaborating? So I believe that this is what this challenge for this Mercury retrograde is going to teach us as it's in Aquarius. Now, moving right along, we're in February. What happens in February? Venus exits Capricorn and enters Aquarius, okay? So this is shifting our mindset from the reservation and the caution and all of the that we were doing while Venus was in Capricorn. It was about being practical, and it was about keeping our, ourselves like very firmly rooted and secure. And again, back to that whole, these are earth signs. That's what they're about. They're about that security and mastering the material world and feeling good in that sense. Now, with Venus now going into Aquarius, now this makes the 5th planet to be in Aquarius. So now we have 5 in Aquarius, and it's shifting our mindset to making new connections and partnerships and expanding both our network and our net worth, okay? So this is all about socializing, getting out there with group activities and things that are going to help you meet more people to build that network that you need. And I know it's kind of like getting out there to have new activities. The activities are mostly going to be online. And remember, Aquarius is all about technology as well. So utilizing technology to make a lot of these connections is definitely something that is going to be on the forefront, because ain't nobody really going nowhere anymore. I mean, some people are, but most people aren't. So that is what is going to be happening. And in terms of technology and advancements, we could be thinking about, because, Venus is about, not only how we relate to other people, it's about our values, it's about our material possessions and all of that stuff. So this is also thinking about our shared resources, building on our shared resources with others, and also like looking to the future and, investing in some things that, like cryptocurrency or some things that might be considered, the next wave. So those are all things that can be coming up to the forefront while Venus is in Aquarius. Moving along, we have our 6th planet entering Aquarius, and the moon is not a planet, but in terms of astrology, they consider it a planet under that definition. So this beautiful luminary is moving into Aquarius on the 9th, which makes 6 planets in Aquarius. So now we have that superstellium in Aquarius, which is going to be very, very interesting. Not only that, 2 days later, we have the new moon in Aquarius. So these 6 planets are going to be in Aquarius when we have this new moon in Aquarius. And this Aquarius new moon is happening at 23 degrees, okay? So with this Aquarius new moon, what are we doing? We're setting our intentions on what we're building, the new. Okay, it's all about what we're building going forward. It's all about envisioning what that looks like. It's all about putting some intentions around that. And I feel like I've been saying this message, but I think it's going to continue to pop up because we're in the beginning, like stage 1, level 1 of this thing. So we got a long way to go with, where we're trying to go and how we're trying to do it, right? So the interesting thing about this new moon, not only is it because the 6 planets are going to be in Aquarius, we have the moon squaring Mars on this day, which means it's going to give us that extra drive to achieve. So when we're setting those intentions, when we're making those plans, we're going to have the extra drive to, to get to our desires in that way. But it makes us impatient and short-tempered, all right? So that is something that we're definitely going to have to monitor our tempers, especially since we already have all this squaring energy, all this tension with, Aquarius and Taurus and Saturn and Jupiter and Mars and Uranus, and it's just gonna be just a high time. And then we have Mercury retrograding. I'm telling you, these next couple weeks are gonna be a woo-saw moment for everybody. Everybody just take a deep breath and right? Because it's exciting and it's moving fast, but there is a lot of tension and a lot of aggravation that is happening in the process. So let's recap. Focusing on Aquarius season, what you're needing to focus on is embracing change, expanding your mind and your thinking, your creativity, as we work to create the new order. We're also being very intentional about what we're doing and seeing the impact of what we're building outside of the individual, or from a selfish standpoint to the collective, and what benefits others, what benefits the whole, not just, you know, a part. And then also we are needing to understand that unpredictability is the underlying energy of what is present right now. There's no getting away from it. So releasing control and just allowing things to flow as they must, okay? And sometimes this means hard lessons come in, okay? Now, we also need to make sure that we keep in mind during this time, because tensions are so high, we're gonna have ego struggles, you know, anger and a rebellious nature coming to the forefront. All right, so for my Aquarians, or my people who have a lot of Aquarian energy in their chart, there's gonna be a great opportunity here during this Aquarius season, because you're gonna have a lot of transits coming through, a lot of planets coming through Aquarius that are going to be conjuncting your natal planet. So this is a great opportunity for you, but you also have to remember that your natal planet will be in Aquarius, will be at odds or having tension with those transiting planets through Taurus, okay? So keep that in mind. For my Leos out there, okay, you're going to be challenged because if you have a lot of Leo energy, all of your natal planets in Leo are going to be opposing the Aquarian planet. So that super stellium that's happening in Aquarius with those 6 planets, they're all going to be opposite your natal planets in Leo. So that opposition is not going to be comfortable. It's going to be challenging. It's also you know, fair to say that you're going to have tension also with those planets sitting in Taurus as well, because Leo squares Taurus. So keep that in mind. You might be real under the fire, okay? So for my other air and fire signs outside of Aquarius and Leo, you should feel more of an ease. I mean, collectively, we're still feeling the collective energies, but personally, you should feel more of an ease in your chart as these planets transit through Aquarius season. For my Taurians and my Scorpios, if you got heavy Taurian energy, heavy Scorpio energy, you're also going to feel the tension as your natal planets will be squaring with what's happening in Aquarius and what's happening in Taurus, okay? And for my other earth and water signs, things should be neutral for you. So, I mean, those with a lot of earth and water in their charts was going through it when everything was in Capricorn. So we get a little break, okay? So what are some of the herbs that we can work with during this time? These herbs are gonna stimulate and inspire your mind. So I would recommend peppermint or like mint, so peppermint, spearmint. And then I would also work with eyebright, okay? The crystals that I would recommend during Aquarius season are going to help you expand your mind and your consciousness, your visions, okay? So amethyst is going to be the #1 crystal that I recommend. And if you can get yourself some Auralite 23, which is a form of amethyst, it's just that next level, that would be great. But if not, you can just work with regular amethyst. And then moldavite, which is, I have an entire video about moldavite, which is the transformation stone. If you talk about wanting to learn how to embrace change, work with some moldavite, okay? But I will tell you, it is not for the faint of heart. Moldavite is some serious business. It's tiny. I actually think I have a piece right here. So it's small. It's very tiny. I don't even know if the camera's gonna pick it up. It's not picking it up. But anyway, this is a piece of moldavite, and it's small, but it's mighty, and it's expensive. So if you can't get your hands on it, don't worry. But if you want to try your hand at working with some moldavite, I would definitely recommend it, okay? So that is all that I have for you today on Aquarius season. Aquarius gang, where y'all at? I actually don't know too many Aquarians, and I always say this, I don't know a whole lot of Aquarians. I mean, I know a couple, but I don't know a lot. So shout yourselves out below and let me know what you're looking forward to or not looking forward to in Aquarius season. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.